Gundam.tk presents Shining Gundam. Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2Bs Gundam Reviews at .net, and today I couldn't be happier to bring you this look at the high-grade Future Century Shining Gundam from the anime G Gundam, and you can see the HGFC Master and the Nobel Gundam in Berserk mode going around there. Anyway, this is a great compliment to the series, and I can't wait to start putting it together. This first came out in 2011 at the same time as the HGFC Master, and it sells for 1,500 yen. As mentioned, this is part of the HGFC from G Gundam, and in the HGUC number series, this is number 127. The HGFC line kicked off with a bang with the God Gundam coming out, and then to get Nobel, and then to get Nobel in its other mode, and Master. Shining seems to be the next logical one before hopefully we're going to get the whole Shuffle Alliance. But anyway, this being a lead Gundam, even though it's from the first half of the series, the Shining is certainly one of the more popular ones, and with its ability to hide anywhere, I can't wait to hide it somewhere on my shelf, but maybe I'll just let Rain do it for me. To the box tour now, where on the side you can see the Shining Gundam, and this is in its regular mode. It hasn't gone very hyper super or anything like that yet. You can see that the shoulders are going to be closed up, but it looks like it's got a clear green jewel there on the chest, and a fair bit of black details, which on the Master grade were provided by seals. Over here you can see a rear view, and you can see that there's big blue gauntlets there, and there is red and blue down there on the shins. I look forward to seeing that in action. And some pretty cool looking artwork there of the Shining going at it with Master. This is probably in Shinjuku. And yes, wasn't it what a great battle that was. Over here you're going to have some more information about Shining Gundam from the 13th Gundam fight, Neo Japan's representative. And then over here you can see its height here, 16.2 meters, which was pretty normal for the mid-90s, as was the style at the time. If you thought that first side looked dull, well, this side certainly doesn't, because it's going to show off the Gundam in all of its cool modes here. In its super mode, you can see that the shins are going to open up, or the side on the sides of the legs. You're also going to have the wrist guards open and that gold open, not to mention the fact that they're actually going to advertise and show off that they're going to include two heads. With the Master grade, you had to swap some parts on and off. With this one, they're just going to give you two heads, which is a fantastic option for lazy modelers like me. You can see that the shoulders are going to move, which is very important for its kung fu action fighting style. You can also have here in the super mode, you can see everything open. It does have some seals underneath, the red and the white it looks like. And over here, if you're talking about effect parts, the Shining Gundam and the Shining Finger Sword is one of the coolest ones ever. It is going to have the Shining Finger down there, and it's also going to have this massive one, which is going to be perfect match for the HGFC Master, which had a very nice darkness finger in oversized cartoon style. Again, it probably wouldn't suit many Gundams, especially from HGUC, but for G Gundam, it just seems to work. You're also going to be getting the beam swords, which Domon used on occasion. I wonder if G Gundam's going to be written on there. And yes, that's what they're saying. It's in green on the actual Shining Finger Sword. G Gundam, and if you've seen the opening, you'll understand why that's so awesome. Whether you're going to use this green one all that often or not, doesn't matter. It's great to have all these effect parts for something that really, the G Gundam series, the God and the Shining, they don't come with a lot of weapons, so any effect parts they want to throw in are pure bonuses. Here they're going to go on talking about bringing this to life in 1/144th and all of its gimmicks, and you can see the Master and his student, who's very, very baka sometimes, Domon Cash, going at it with the oversized things, and that darkness finger is looking very fierce. If only Domon could calm down and achieve inner peace. To the unbox with that great looking cover art there, and when you crack it open, you're going to get a very colorful A-plate, polycap seals, and then you're going to get some gray, a half plate of white, and white with some more gray, beam sabers, and a manual. This A-plate will put your eyes out with just how colorful it is, and that's a fantastic thing for the Shining Gundam. Of course, kicking things off with these clear green parts down there, you're going to get this part for the chest jewel. This sword has G Gundam written in the hilt, which right there is going to make this almost a must-buy. You've got two Shining figures left and right, and that massive one there in between. But most importantly for the head, you're going to have the two sets of hair for the in and out positions, two V-fins, this part here for the chest, the feet, the legs, two parts for the shoulders, and everything you're going to need for the forearms, chest, and the backpack. Can you make it out right there? This reminds me of my channel's front page. Here's the B1 and B2 plate, which is a 1.5 plate, and you're going to have everything you need here for the legs, the waist, and the arms and waist armor. The best part being for me is that down here you're going to have the weapons in terms of the face parts and the beam sabers, but it's here that you're going to get the head, the main part that you're going to use, but you'll notice that there's these separators here, and even though it's on the B1, B2, they didn't put that separator in there, which says to me, Rising Gundam is going to come out, because this part should probably be unique to Shining, and it'll be a little bit different because, of course, Shining has its own very unique shoulder parts, which are probably going to get put up there, so that's probably the best part of this unbox for me. Not quite the same confidence here with the C1 and C2, which are 1.5 plates, and you'll notice where this nameplate goes on here, which would explain why you've got these separators there, but it would be very easy with this unusual shape to add some parts on there. Again, I'm hoping that's going to be the Rising Gundam. If you were to try to paint these parts here, this is for the forearm and this is for the leg thrusters, they do give you this nice gap, and you can see that that's very easy to cut off and put under an air gun. SP5 here for the beam sabers, and you'll notice that you're going to get two different lengths there. To the stickers, which is going to show some similarities to the master grade, just in the fact that there's going to need some black stripes there just to add a whole bunch of little bit of detail. However, on the master grade, these blue parts would have been done in plastic, but you are going to get the bonus of not having to swap the heads because you've got enough parts, including eye stickers, to make up two of them and the camera lenses. And my big worry about this Shining Gundam was when it was first showed off at the first toy show where we saw pictures online. Here you have gold stickers, which weren't on display there, so I thought it was going to have horribly ugly shoulders, which would mean you'd never want to expose it when Domon either gets angry and or very peaceful. To the manual now, which is very traditional for an HGFC, just the regular 4 pages, and you can see the pilot on there, Domon Cash from Neo Japan. Some cool color splash pages on the inside. They're going to show off these covers there for the forearms. The old core lander, that's a pretty cool gimmick, I suppose, back in the 90s. The thrusters there, you've already seen that it's going to be seals to cover up some of that, and that's not going to be gold, sadly. You've got down here the beam sword, and it looks like when he's holding the Shining Finger sword that it's being held in a gray hand with the green hand just the Shining Finger on top of it. So the Shining Finger cannot hold it, unfortunately. But to the insides, where you can see that there are some kit variations, and when you see interesting plates like that, you gotta wonder, could we be seeing a Rising Gundam in the future, or just this in gold, or who knows? You can see here that you're going to build up 2 heads after putting the chest together. The shoulders are looking good with big seals to put them all together. Combine the upper body, build up the limbs, and then once you put the legs in and the core lander itself is not going to be very complicated to put together. Here it's just showing you all the weapons variations, not very complex, and this will work with an action base too, as all new high grades should. And then it's on to this last color splash page, which is going to show off all the gimmicks and how to transform it into super mode. It's actually looking pretty cool. They're saying pop off the shoulder, and then when you pull off this white part, you'll notice that there's 2 notches that it can fit into. So you're basically just going to plug it into the higher one of the 2, and I've been impressed with the way they've done some of these, going back to the SD Unicorn Gundam. Reattach it, and then you'll have some gold shoulders on display. You can just pull this out. The master grade, I've had these feet break on me, so it's sort of cool that they're going to have a simple yet effective, just pop the red part off, put it in the right hole, and then plug it in. You can also bend these back parts down. All you have to do is pop off the forearms, pull down this gray part, and plug it back in, and that's going to give it the elevation from the arm. Unfortunate again that these are seals, but you can see that this can open up after you take it off and then just reattach it on at an angle, and there it is. When you want to go full ridiculous, full Shining Finger action, and the sword, again, they're showing it in the gray hand, not in the green. So far from the features on the box and just what I've seen from taking a brief look at these plates, everything about this is looking quite interesting. But stay tuned for the next part where I'll have a lot more in-depth look at the actual plates and the seals, because those are going to be a big component of this. Somewhat disappointing, of course, that it's going to need that much. But anyway, we'll see how it actually gets pulled off when you see the mobile fighter. Anyway, everybody, Robert184, gundam.tk, thanks for watching. See you next part, everybody. Please let me know what you think with a comment down below. You know I have absolutely nothing positive to say about this kit.